A giant fireball tears across the heavens. Seconds later, a blast so powerful that it flattens an entire forest. The shockwave races around the Earth. People think the world is ending. But when scientists finally arrive, they discover something that makes no sense. There is no crater, no giant meteorite, no obvious source of the most powerful explosion ever witnessed in modern history. So, what really happened? To uncover the answer, we have to travel back to June 30th, 1908. Deep in the wilderness of Siberia, Russia, life was unusually quiet. The region was so remote that only a handful of hunters and villagers lived there. Then, just after 7 o'clock in the morning, witnesses looked up and saw a blazing object racing across the sky. Some said it looked like the sun had suddenly started moving. Others described a trail of blue-white fire stretching across the horizon. The object moved faster than anything they had ever seen. Then, a blinding flash lit up the landscape. Moments later, an explosion ripped through the sky. The force was almost beyond imagination. Trees snapped like dry twigs. Millions of branches were stripped away instantly. Animals were thrown to the ground. People living dozens of kilometers away were knocked off their feet. Some believed they had reached the end of the world. The explosion was so powerful that scientific instruments thousands of kilometers away detected the pressure wave as it traveled around the planet. For several nights afterwards, skies across Europe and parts of Asia glowed so brightly that some people could read newspapers outdoors after midnight. Yet no one knew what had caused it. The location was so isolated that scientists couldn't investigate immediately. Years passed, then decades. Finally, in 1927, a Russian expedition reached the site expecting to find a gigantic impact crater. Instead, they found something far stranger. More than 80 million trees had been flattened across over 2,000 square kilometers. The fallen trees pointed away from a single central point, proving an immense explosion had occurred. But where the crater should have been, there was nothing. Even stranger, the trees at the very center were still standing. They had been stripped bare of their branches and bark, but they hadn't been knocked down. It looked as though the explosion had come from directly above them. That single clue changed everything. Scientists realized the object had probably never struck the ground. Instead, it exploded high in the atmosphere. Today, the leading explanation is that a small asteroid, possibly around 50 to 60 meters wide or perhaps a fragment of a comet, entered Earth's atmosphere at a tremendous speed. The pressure became so intense that it shattered before reaching Earth. In an instant, it released an estimated 10 to 15 megatons of energy, hundreds of times more powerful than the Hiroshima atomic bomb. Because the explosion happened several kilometers above the ground, there was no giant crater to find. The object had effectively destroyed itself in the sky. Even after more than a century, scientists continue studying the Tunguska explosion, not because they doubt that an airburst occurred, but because understanding exactly what exploded could help protect Earth from future cosmic impacts. The greatest explosion in recorded history didn't leave a crater. It left a mystery that scientists are still piecing together one clue at a time.